Well, as we saw at the top of the program, Prime Minister Scott Morrison has announced the biggest expansion of the Australian Defence Force in 4 decades. The $38 billion investment will drastically increase the size of the military, hiring at least 18,000 more servicemen and women. For more on this, and I've been looking forward to this all day, I'm joined from Royalla, which I think is near Paddy's Creek, by Liberal Senator and retired Major General Jim Molan. Am I right?
It's just north of Toot-Garook, Chris.
Get up.
And if you've been looking forward for this all day, I feel sorry for your style.
No, I've been looking forward to it because I'll get to this in a minute, but I can't understand why Putin is being so gruesome, but we'll get to that in a second. Explain to my viewers practically why the ADF needs more soldiers, sailors and aviators and not more hardware.
Well, we announced the hardware back on the 1st of July in 2020, and that was what we called the strategic update, and the Prime Minister gave one of two very, very good speeches on the national security issue. One was in 2020, and he gave one a couple of days ago here in Canberra. Now, that said what the equipment is we're going to buy and how much we're going to pay for it. What this does, it matches the equipment and the capabilities, such as many of them that Greg spoke about, that's coming down the track. Yeah, it's coming. But this, between now and when the equipment arrives, will make sure that we funded and provided the manpower. And people say this is a huge increase. The question we've always got to ask ourselves is, what can we do with this manpower and the equipment once we get it? And the way that I look at it, and it's Greg's job to point out all the deficiencies, and most of them I agree with, but my job is to give advice in private to the Prime Minister and to the Defence Minister, and we have a great collection, a great set of ministers who are working on this. And, because we have been abused, I say we, I mean the ADF, has been abused by government after government after government, we become very thankful for small mercies. The 18,500 people bring up the ADF, Chris, to the standard and to the level of combat capability and manning it should have been at for the last 75 years. Now, that is a fantastic achievement. Since the end of the Vietnam War, no other government's been able to do that, but Morrison's done it and Dutton has done it.
OK, well, hang on a second. How do you find 18,000 Australians to take those jobs? The cafe down the road from here is still looking for 2 people to serve coffee.
Oh, we can do it. A lot of people who are happy to serve coffee in a cafe don't want to be infantrymen. We've never had problems recruiting infantrymen, young Australians who want to be combat fighters. We have a lot of trouble hanging on to them, and we don't want to hang on to all of them past the 6-year mark. We get rid of about 7,000 per year. We recruit about 7,000 per year. And that keeps the place refreshed. We can do it. I'm quite confident that we can do it. But not only that, Chris, we need so many more. This should only be the start of the increase in lethality of the ADF, that is how nasty it can fight, the increase in sustainability, that is for how long it can fight and how big it is. Right. And that's what we need to face the future. If we change ministers now, if we change governments now, those ministers are going to, the brand new ministers are going to take a year or two to even figure out which way is up.
Sure.
Our guys know exactly which way's up.
OK, let's get some time on Ukraine. It's getting evil. It's getting gross. What's happened with Putin here, Jim? It's almost as if he is baiting NATO to get involved.
I'm not too sure about that. I think he is so frustrated and disappointed about how his magnificent army has underperformed that he's lashing out. And he's sacked 8 generals. Now, that doesn't show, that to me, that doesn't show a military which the president wants to use to fight NATO. No. I don't believe he's got any chance of winning in a fight with NATO. He's starting to use artillery in massive ways. I've been expecting this for a long time. The more frustrated he gets, the more he will revert to how Russians have fought for a century. That is the massive use of artillery. And people are talking about nukes and chemical warfare, and we've got to be very, very careful of that. When people say this is World War III has already started. World War III could be 100 times worse than what we're seeing in Ukraine at the moment, Chris.
Okay,
so
very quickly.
He is lashing out.
Very quickly, the plan to give MiGs to Poland while the Poles hand over their Soviet fighter jets to Ukraine. The United States doesn't want this to happen. It can happen, surely, logistically. Why are they scared?
I think the problem was that someone suggested that they fly the MiG-29s back to a German base, a Ramstein base, which is a NATO base, that the pilots from Ukraine pick them up there and fly them back and start fighting. That was never going to work. Here's my prediction, Chris. In a day or so, this will go ahead. Poland and other countries will get F-16s, and the Ukrainian pilots will clear their own skies. They will do a no-fly zone over Ukraine with 70 extra aircraft that they will get.
Right. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Jim Molan,
Absolutely.
Great insights again. Thank you so much for your time.